Welcome back. So it's been a second since we've done a video. Got a couple coming out this week. Picking up something very cool on Saturday, to be announced Saturday. I'll get the video up that same day. But today we're going to do something really cool with what's coming up and what we're going to do with the long range Model 3 Roxy. So check this out. This is really cool. Alrighty, so here we are a couple of days later finishing this because my videos got all messed up. But what we have is a Starlink Mini kit. So you can see that I kind of used this already. If you watch the previous video, you'll see that we bought a 25 Model Y and we hooked up the Starlink Mini in Roxy when we went down there to get her. So a couple of things. This is like, I don't know, 1.5 miles of cord. This thing is huge. This is probably 100 feet easily. So I had it set up in the dash. Amazon today should be bringing some accessories for this so we don't have to do that anymore. But this was just coiled up to get rid of the excess in the car. You also get a power supply that comes with it. And I believe that these are just regular 21 millimeter or 2.1 millimeter, excuse me, bullet connectors. And you get a power supply that I was running off of just a regular old Amazon converter through the cigarette lighter. Worked great. If you do decide to power your Mini, you're going to need at least 100 watts to start. So you cannot take your regular USB-C, plug it into the car. It's not going to work. You're going to need something else, and that's what some of the accessories that I have that should be here today are. So mini dish, I mean, it's 12 by 10. It's really a great size. And then of course you get the kickstand that goes with it. You can take this out just like that. You're going to want to pull up on this end when you pull it out. And then you do get an adapter here if you want to run like a pipe mount for it, so you can mount it on your roof racks or on a tripod at your campsite, whatever you're doing. But yeah, this thing worked absolutely phenomenal. I think we peaked somewhere around like 130 gigs download, and I think it was almost 30 upload. But this thing, in all respects, is absolutely phenomenal. All right, so what we opted when we got this was, well, we didn't have we did have a choice. You could do the 50 gigs for 50 bucks or the unlimited for like 165. I don't need the unlimited. So to start, you have to pay the 50 bucks, get the 50 gigs, but I did change that to the 10. So we get 10 gigs for 10 bucks, I think effective the 21st of April. So you have to buy the $50 package to start with and then just downgrade from there. But that's okay, because we got some running around to do, headed back to Reno, so I'll use the data. Speaking of that, 2.8 gigs is what we used going down to Rockland to pick up her Model Y and come back. On the way down, we had both phones connected, the car connected, streaming music. Liz was FaceTiming her sister for a good part of it, and the other part of it, she was playing Farmville or Heyday, whatever the new one is called, playing that the whole way down. So we were pulling some data. 2.8 gigs is all that used, which the video timing or the FaceTiming, that's going to do a lot, and then playing the game will do a lot. The car didn't pull squat, and I highly doubt the phones did either. But it was perfect the entire way down. My only complaint is if you're plugged into the Tesla, like you have to use a power inverter, like I said just a few minutes ago. Anywhere you go, you stop, the car goes to sleep, and it turns everything off. And then it takes about, it feels like 5 minutes. It's probably not that bad. For the Starlink to reboot, reconnect to the satellites, and then your equipment has to reconnect as well. So that part is frustrating. I wish Tesla would just leave the 12 volt on. Shut off the USB-C ports. I don't care. Actually, I do care. Leave all the damn accessories on. Give us an option inside the screen to toggle on or off, and just leave it alone. But it was phenomenal. So we'll pick this video up here in just a few minutes when Amazon gets the rest of the goodies delivered for this, which is going to make wiring it up into the Model 3 and the Y, because the Y has a cigarette lighter adapter in the trunk, so much better. So we'll see you guys here in just a few. Okay, that was literally a couple minutes later that Amazon showed up. So let's get rid of some boxes here. Save this one for just a second. So what we did get was, instead of having to run an inverter, So now you can just plug this straight into the cigarette lighter and cut the inverter completely out of the equation and plug it into the back of the Mini. This is going to be great for the Model Y because it has the socket in the back. You can just do a direct plug. But what I want to do in Roxy is, because I have 12 volt running to the back of the car through the trunk, we're going to cut this end off, not on this one, on this extra one that I ordered. We're going to cut an end off of this and wire on an XT60 connector that RC airplane batteries use. And hopefully I can pull 100 watts out of that for startup. So this was, I think, 12 bucks. So it's going to be a $12 test to see if it works or not. But that would be great. One end to the Starlink, connect one end to the XT60 that I have already hardwired back there to run the test fridge. And I actually have an on and off switch in the car. So hopefully this part works. So if it doesn't, then at least, you know, we'll always have the new cigarette lighter adapter. But the really cool part is this. So instead of putting it on the dash or something like that, ordered one of the, wow, okay, this thing's actually super legit. It's a suction cup window mount. Damn, this thing is, boy, there are little twisties on here. You can really adjust how this thing fits. So your Starlink will plug in to the slot right here, and then you can suction cup it obviously onto your car, but it doesn't matter if your window is convex, concaved, both. Wow, the articulation on this thing is really good. Actually uses metal components for the knuckles in here. It looks like it's screwed into the plastic. This feels almost billet. I think this is CNC milled. This is definitely not 3D printed. Well, actually it's mold injected. You can see the lines here. But this actually feels quite substantial, and there are little protective things over the suction cups during shipping. All the pivot points use metal, and your little lock wings here, these are obviously plastic, but they're all metal inserted with little castle nuts on them. Wow! And there's some knurling in here for your adjustment, so you have a really solid positive lock when you tighten these down. I'm highly impressed with this. I think this was like 35 bucks, and looks like it just uses a clamshell style holder. So don't over torque this. You don't want to strip anything out. Wow, I'm very impressed. Let's get that hooked up, and I will be right back. Okay, here's the dish. This is non-directional, so it can only go in one way. As soon as I figure that out, so it looks like we got to kick these out of the way. And this should just, yep, snaps right in. And then you can use your suction cups like that to hold it all in. And that is pretty damn clean. So there's about what it's going to look like, just a couple of Mickey Mouse ears coming off the side. And I mean, it's locked in there. It's not going anywhere. But then to unlock, you'll pull up on this tab, and then you'll slide it right out. So let's just go ahead and do that really quick. And just like that. But yeah, that's a solid positive lock, and I'm not afraid to stick that on the glass at all, anywhere. Very, very cool. So yeah, I'm digging that. Okay, I'm not actually going to crawl into the back seat and put it where it's going to go. What we're going to do is we're just going to peel these little Protecto caps off, and we're just going to simulate that, you know, we're out camping, and we're just going to have this set up on the front of the car. So on the feet, it tells you to push. So you're going to push down and then use the lock on there. And we'll get that one going. Push down and lock. And then use your little twisty arms just to kind of lock everything into place so it doesn't move on you. Because it kind of is a pain in the ass to reconnect to Starlink after you've got all this done. We'll lock these arms in. And the nice thing is, unlike the V3, you don't need to, I mean, obviously it helps, but you don't need to sit there and actually like move it around to try to find the sweet spot. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but I can actually make the whole car wiggle. I would honestly probably trust this while driving. I would put some kind of a safety strap around it, but this is not moving. And the, ooh boy, the little ear locks over here, everything on this is exceptionally solid. Wow, that's not moving at all. Let me bring the camera a little bit closer in here so you can see. I mean, I'm violently shaking the car and it's not moving. And then there's the other leg, but here's that little press button right here. It literally tells you to press, and then it'll take, you'll push down and use this other finger to lock that down with. But yeah, it's extremely a clean install. And I mean, who cares? You're out camping. Everybody's going to be super jelly of you. I do have 12 volts wired under the hood in here with another on-off switch. So what I could actually even do is run this right under the hood and plug it into the back of the Starlink and still get power that way. Let me show you the XT60 that I have in the trunk, just so you guys kind of know what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the XT60 connector. It's connected to the wire that runs to the Tesla fridge, but it's just an airplane connector that goes all the way to the front of the vehicle into the center console, where we hardwired a on and off switch. So under the center console, here's the on and off switch for it right down here. Uh-oh, don't want a copyright strike. So right here's the on and off switch for it, and then here's your cigarette lighter adapter right there. So we actually pulled the dash out and then hardwired power all the way to the trunk just to keep it clean. So yeah, the 11th, I think we're going, well, I'm going back to Nevada. We're getting a tour of Giga Nevada. I will have this mounted up in the car, hopefully just as clean as I can make it. And we'll see what we get going through the mountains. It should be pretty interesting. I'm split because we're kind of down in a valley with tall trees, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as bad as it normally is. So we'll check that out. Appreciate you guys watching the video. I will do an immediate update when I can regarding whether or not we can get that bullet connector to work off that XT60. Boy, I tell you what, that would just be amazing. So we'll keep you in the loop on that one. And yeah, anything else cool that happens with the Starlink, I will absolutely let you guys know. Thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with the video. This one was kind of a mishmash, and I think I salvaged it. We'll see you guys on the next one.